Older millennials are driving up U.S. home prices, and here's what you need to know. What's up, real estate rock stars? I'm Money Mike, and welcome to another episode of Rockstar News, your news source for real estate investors, real estate agents, and anyone looking to become a real estate rock star. And if this is your first time watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and also share this with all your friends and family. And if you stick around to the end of the video, we'll show you how you can potentially win up to $600 every single month. All right, joining me once again is Chris Noon, another realtor.
And the Bearded Wonder. Let's keep it like consistent here.
He has official titles, I forgot. All right, so becoming a homeowner is likely to get more costly and competitive over the next decade as millions of more Americans enter the age range where people typically seek to buy their first home. Nearly 45 million Americans will enter their mid-30s over the next 10 years, or about 3.1 million more than in the last decade. That potential surge in would-be homebuyers could drive up demand, pushing prices even higher, particularly more in the more affordable end of the market. The trend could also mean that higher costs for renters as well. If this coming wave of buyers has to compete with fiercely for homes to purchase, that could drive up rent prices as well as home values. As it is, first-time homebuyers in many parts of the country have been struggling to find affordable houses amid a stubborn U.S. home shortage of properties on the market that has helped push up prices even higher. All right, so Chris, what do you think is the solution to this? Because we hear all the time that new homes, new construction can't keep up with the demand.
They straight can't. And honestly, I was looking into this because I was dealing with a vacant land that we were geared towards multifamily. Multifamily isn't just like duplexes, triplexes. Multifamily in its essence is an apartment complex. So essentially, instead of single family homes, more and more multifamily apartment investors are coming to the Central Florida area to meet the demand. Because they're the only ones that can maximize a density per acre and build upwards, where a single family can only go maybe 2 stories, 2 or 3 at the very most.
Yeah, the issue is that I think a lot of people still think that the American dream is to have, the half acre, the 3 bedroom, 2 bath, the big yard and all stuff like this.
2,000 square foot with plenty of space, but yet 15 minutes from downtown and your local grocery store and walk to school.
Yeah, and it's
it's not gonna happen, unfortunately.
And I think going in the future, those homes, they'll still exist. There'll still be a demand for them, but the prices for them are gonna go astronomical. Yeah. And we are gonna have to get to this point in time where because developers can't keep up with single family homes, they're probably going to have to sit there and start building higher density. And I'm talking about these giant towers and all of this.
Judge Dredd style, where they're like super cities, just they hold 100,000 people.
Oh, I'm all about that.
It's 150 stories high.
Yeah, exactly. And so, because...
Well, doesn't China have something like that? Or Hong Kong? There's I saw something.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Block City.
Everyone's room is all 300 square foot, and it's a block city when there's literally a quarter mile of land has probably 10,000 people. That probably sounds excessive.
No, it was actually more than that. And what it was, it's they tore it down about 10 years ago, something like this. But it was a city that just people just kept building on top of each other. They'll build one room here and they just kept going, and the density got to the point where it was just crazy ridiculous. And there's you can find some diagrams out there showing how dense it is. Now I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying in the future literally we're gonna have millions more of home buyers out there, and when it comes to the older generation, when it comes to baby boomers, Gen X, they're not selling. They're not following the normal trends of selling, where they have a house, they raise a family, the family goes away, then they downsize, and they sell that other house, and then a new generation comes and moves that trend is slowed down because of 2006, 2008. People are over there, are underwater on their mortgages and still waiting for home values to go up. Yeah. Now, that's not to say that in the future that won't change, but I think I don't know what the solution is to this, because we're dealing with it now.
Well, everyone has. Some of our major cities have been major cities since the start of the U.S. and some are still recent. The idea of downtown Orlando has only been around for maybe 100 years.
It's since 1950s.
Okay, so less. So we're gonna start seeing more cities in urban areas start thriving. You know, like Lakeland, like Winter Haven, and other places that have like a smaller density, they're going to start thriving. People are going to start moving to those areas.
Yeah, and I think that's important too. Like this whole idea of like, you know, people like especially with millennials, they want the walkability score to be high. You know, there's a community down to the east of us right now that essentially their whole stick is you buy a house here, you have all these amenities within 15 minutes of walking. And they have like a Publix in the middle. They have like a town center.
Avalon Park's got that. Baldwin Park's got that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's in the downtown area, Ivanhoe at the Yard is doing something like that.
Yeah.
And actually in downtown, there is off the corner of Gore and Orange Avenue, the first floor is Sprouts, Fair Earth, I think it is.
Yeah.
And it's a grocery store, and above it is where people live.
Yeah. And I think millennials are more accepting of the idea that they're going to live in higher density communities like that, as long as they have amenities. As long as they have,
walking,
they can walk to the grocery store, they can walk to other entertainment and other things like that. I think the idea of having a single family home where you have like, you know, tons of land and, you know,
space.
You don't smell your neighbor's farts. I think that's going to go. I think that's going to start dying off. Even like the trend amongst
tradition.
Yeah, the traditional like housing situation. Even that's going away. You know, developers are actually starting to focus on multi-generational homes. You know, where it isn't just like, you know, the mom and the dad and the 2.5 kids and the, you know, and the 2.5 is the 0.5 is the dog. They're going to the idea that like your parents are going to move in with you, or your kids are going to stay with you for an extended period of time.
Yeah, like an in-law suite. So like we need more of that, like, or like a section above the garage, you know, like where it turns into like a livable space where it has like own little microwave and fridge and stuff like that, which makes complete sense to me.
So, you know, I think that's the trend. I think the idea of like, because if you look at other cultures around the world, this idea that like once you hit 18 years old, the most responsible thing you could do, or the thing you could do as a man or as an adult, is to go get an expensive apartment that you can't afford, to go get a car payment that you can't afford, and then on top of that, go get your education that's going to put you massively in debt. Yeah. And so I think, so I think the future is going to go where kids, like, because you look at like China and other places, most kids don't move out their house until they get married. You know, because they're saving money, and there's no need. There isn't like this stigma to stay with your parents, or like no one sits there and says like, "Oh, you still live with your parents?" Like, ugh. No, it's just like I'm saving money. I can't afford, you know, a car, a house, and an education and food. You know, so I got something has to give. You know, so I think we'll go to more multi-generational, higher development. But it can't happen soon enough.
Yeah, but we're also maxing out the density when it comes to new construction homes. Like, they can't build them fast enough, but they're also at the same time, these new communities are just maxing out the density per acre. So that's why you see so many cookie cutter homes, you know? Yeah. It's like, which one would you like, A, B, or C with this A, B, or C elevation?
Yeah. All right, so what do you guys think? Is there a solution to the housing crisis, or do you think it's going to all solve itself out? Go ahead and leave your comments down below. Make sure you like and subscribe to our social media profile so you guys can stay up to date with the latest in Rockstar news. Also, head over to our Facebook page. Our Facebook page, we have some tabs over here. There's a button that says Enter to Win. You can sign up to 5 times every single month. We're giving away $600 in gift cards. You know, basically Target, I think it was Target, Home Depot, all these other cool places that you can go to. It'll be shipped to you. And you can, like I said, 5 times a month, you can increase your chances of winning. And if you're interested in becoming a Central Florida homeowner in the future, go ahead and check out our monthly newsletter and become a real estate rock star.